Howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile. Today, what I wanted to do is talk about how I deal with one of the things that remains scarce throughout an entire league, which is helms with excellent enchants. If you have a look here, this is a useful website that's been put up, Path of Exile, poa.ninja. I talk about this site a lot, it's really worth having a look at. And here is their list of the cheapest enchanted helmets for each enchant that appear to have been selling. So you'll notice here that the cheapest tornado shot fires 2 additional secondary projectiles ones that have been selling. It's going to be about 7.5 exalts, and that's because that's the best enchant in the current league. 15% cyclone, IAS for cyclone, 2 exalts, and so on and so on. Now what we're looking at here is we're going to use this as a resource and go into the game client, where we're going to be using fossils, specifically enchanted fossils, and crafting on various garbage item level 86 elder helms that I've been picking up. Now I haven't been paying much for these because of all of the celestial armorers incubators that have been going around. These are even cheaper than they normally are. I funded my entire Delve League out of this strategy that I'm going to show off here. And in that league I was paying 10 Chaos Orbs for dumpster tier item level 86 Elder Helmets. In this league I'm paying less. I've paid 3 for everything that you see here. Don't worry about the 10 exalts, that's just a way of saying these items are not for sale. And all I've done is I've picked up some enchanted fossils, and I'm going to be slamming these onto these helmets, and if I pick up something that is a premium roll, then I'm going to craft further. So this Callous Mask. Soul Rend also hinders enemies with 25% reduced movement speed. And having a quick look at that is the Merciless tier, and it is not a popular enchant. And so for that reason, I'm just going to treat that as something I'm going to roll over. With Enchanted Fossils, they can roll both Merciless and Eternal tier enchants if you're using them on helmets. They can also roll normal and cruel tier enchants if you're rolling them on gloves or boots. For this reason, you should never use them on gloves or boots. You should only use them on the helmets. 36% increased Searing Bond totem elemental resistances. Searing Bond is a dumpster tier skill as it is. Although that is a Merciless tier 1, no one is using this skill, and so I would normally be inclined to roll over it. However, because it's a skill that is basically almost never used, sometimes I like to keep these because the tiny number of players that are playing this skill, it may just be the perfect thing for someone. For that reason, I am going to keep this, and I'll stick it in a 1 exalt tab. If someone is playing Searing Bond, then it's potentially the best helmet that exists on the server for them, and so for that reason, I'm going to leave it for them to pick up. Ice Trap Area of Effect. Ice Trap I don't have any experience with. I don't know if it's particularly good, but just having a quick look at the poa.ninja details, it's the second most popular the second most popular Eternal tier enchant on that skill. For that reason, I'm going to keep it. I wouldn't keep it in a normal league. The reason I'm keeping it is because the Celestial Armorers Incubators have made these bases so cheap that my threshold for rolling over them is lower than it normally would be. SRS has an 18% chance to double summon. That is the best SRS. And in fact, I'll bring up the way that I'm checking these because you wouldn't otherwise be able to see it. I'll just hide the game client for a sec. And what I've done is I've gone back to poa.ninja and I've typed in summon. Now, you'll see here that they're saying that it's selling for only 2.8 chaos, but that's with trash tier. That is for a trash tier item. This is the best SRS enchant that's available. We can get that. I've used the word summon, which was a mistake. I should have typed raging instead. You'll see here that it's the best of them. SRS is not a meta skill, but it has a history of being popular, and so for that reason I'm going to assume that someone out there probably wants it. In addition to that, having it on an item level 86 Elder Helmet is extraordinarily good. I'm actually going to craft this one further, and what I'm going to do is recognizing that I have a minion skill on it. I'm going to play to the strengths of minion skills. I'm going to go and have a look and see if I own any bound fossils, which I own only 3 of, unfortunately. Because I haven't been playing that much this league, I don't have a lot of just random fossils. But Elder Helmets have lots of roles that are really good for minion gems. They have socketed gems supported by various minion skills. They have burning damage. They have immolate. All things that can work really well with SRS. In addition to that, being item level 86, it can roll +3 to socketed minion gems. So there's a lot of potential for this to be great, but I probably don't have enough bound fossils to actually hit it. What have we got here? We've got fire damage spells. We've got socketed gems supported by minion damage, but we would need that in conjunction with a plus level minion skills, which we don't have. This certainly is not valuable enough to try and slam that on, and so I'm just going to roll over that and see if we can get something better this time. +2 isn't good enough. 2% socketed critical strike doesn't synergize at all, and so even though there's a couple of individually good rolls on that, I'm going to treat that as a fail. I'm going to give it one last try. My very last... Oh, there's +3 and minion damage. Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. +3 to the level of socketed minion gems is extraordinarily good. Minion damage support is excellent, and that is the top tier of it. Everything else is pretty bad, but it's not terrible. What I'm going to do with this is not an extraordinary item, but it is the perfect item for someone. I'm going to list this for... In a normal league, I would list it for 3 exalts. In the Legion League, where there is so much currency flying around, I'm going to list it up for 5 exalts. Not because it's inherently worth more than it was in previous leagues, but I'm listing it for 5 because it has buyers. The buyer that this is perfect for has more potential to have lots of currency in this league than they would normally have. I'm also going to throw the 2 that have hit softly, that have got okay enchants on them. I'm going to throw them into a 1 exalt tab for the moment. Again, these are extraordinary upgrades for the right person. There's not many right people around, but if you find them, they will be very, very happy that you have provided them that item. 12% increased ground slam area of effect, and this actually looks like it has some pretty tantalizing implicit mods as well. So let's just bring up jump out of the game client for a sec, and let's have a look at what that is. It is the 3rd best ground slam roll in terms of popularity, and for that reason I'm not going to roll over it. Ground slam is a good skill at the moment. It's actually an underplayed skill. I'm going to have another look at the actual mods that roll on the item as well. Minion life is a total waste. We've got life, we've got a good life roll, we've got a good strength roll, a terrible accuracy roll. I don't think that this is anything extraordinary. It's okay. Unfortunately, nothing is playing to the strengths of the Elder mod that is on it, and the accuracy rating is too low to be useful. This is a stepping stone item. This is an excellent stepping stone item for the right person, and for that reason, I'm not going to try and get top dollar for it, but I will charge an exalt for it, and we'll see if we can get that. Last up, we have this final helmet. 40% increased reeve damage is very tantalizing, especially when it's socketed immolate. Is hard to synergize with reeve, but I'm sure that someone will be willing to try it. So let's have a look and see what 40% increased reeve is looking like at the moment. It's the best enchant for reeve, and it's not a top tier enchant, but it's probably in your sort of 2nd tier. In terms of what this is supported by, there's nothing extraordinary, but I do think that this is just good enough that I'm not actually sure what all this other crap is here. Let's have a look. See, it looks like it's just items that have been dumped in here. Oh look, why don't we just list this as a 3 exalt tab and see how, actually no, let's say 2.5. It's not strong enough. It doesn't have amazing well, actually the explicit rolls are terrible on it. I'm not going to craft it further though. I tend to only do the crafting further on things that are already that have a minion enchant on them. But in any case, this was a strategy that I used during the Delve League and also during Betrayal to fund Headhunters and basically just keep throwing Enchanted Fossils on things. Most of the time you get mediocrity like I've got today. But once in a blue moon, you will hit the extraordinary. So what you need to do is have a plan for when you do hit the very top tier enchants. So let's say that I'd hit Cyclone attack speed there. I have to have a plan for getting maximum value out of that. During the Betrayal League, I hit Molten Strike has +2 projectiles, which was extremely popular at that time. It was the second best enchant at the time that I got it. And in addition, I hit Glacial Cascade has 40% increased conversion. And during the Delve League, I hit Tornado Shot +2 for secondary projectiles, but unfortunately I hit that on a Shaper helmet rather than an Elder one. Tornado Shots, the way that it synergizes, it would have actually been better to get that on the Elder helmet. And so when you get those, you do not want to price them low. None of this saying, oh look, it looks like Tornado Shot is worth 6 exalts. What you want to do is firstly assess, is it worth your while offering it as a Fractured Fossil service? And you'll see here that Fractured Fossils are currently 5 exalts. So you need to be pretty confident that you can get considerably more than 5 exalts for each fractured copy that you make, remembering that they will have weak explicit mods. That's your first option. Your second option is to think, can I craft this to the point, can I realistically craft it to the point that it is Mirror tier? And if you can't, how much can I get from someone that is capable of crafting it to Mirror tier value? How much can I get from them for the base? You'll get a hell of a lot more if you have one of the best bases when you hit really hard. And if we have a look at the various bases that are available at the moment, so if we go to 86 plus and Elder, and also let's restrict to only consider helmets because we don't really care about the rest. If you've got that on a Royal Burgonet or really a Royal Burgonet at this point, you would be getting a lot more for it because it would be more capable of becoming a Mirror tier item than if, say, you got it on a Great Crown. If I'd got this on an Elder Great Crown, on an Elder Royal Burgonet, I would be looking at asking 40 to 50 exalts for it, maybe with a willingness to negotiate down. However, if I was someone that was swimming in currency, which I'm not in this league, then I would instead be looking to do everything I can to craft a Mirror tier item, and then make dank amounts of currency off running a Mirror service. In any case, hopefully that's been useful. If you've got any questions about using Enchanted Fossils, then fire away below. Otherwise, hope you have a good one.